Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm just going to open up this window a little bit more. Happy Monday. As I just said, I'm Briony Kennedy, the founder of ADORN Cosmetics, and occasionally I'll pop in here to do a live and let you guys get ready with me in the morning. Hopefully you might be able to pick up some tips along the way. If not, feel free to ask some questions. You might be using the products already and want to know how to use them. You might be interested in trying the ADORN products and you haven't had a chance to just yet. So feel free to ask some questions while I'm getting ready. I just thought I'd show you a really quick routine that I have when I'm a little bit time poor, which I am this morning, and I'll be more time poor because I'm taking the time to do these lives. They always take me a little bit longer to get ready. So with my makeup tips and my makeup tutorials, obviously me talking means that they take a little bit longer, but when you take the tips home, you should find that you'll be able to do this in about 5 minutes, even a little bit less. All right, so to get started, I've already put the hydration primer on, and so I've also put a tiny little bit of oil on my cheeks and just my forehead because I'm a little bit dry, and that's the antioxidant oil in the ADORN range. So what I'm going to use this morning is, now sorry if I keep looking down, but all my makeup's just underneath me, and I have a makeup, just a mirror just behind the screen here, so if I'm looking in odd directions, I'm just trying to watch what I'm doing, as doing it straight into the camera is not always that easy. So I'm going to just use a BB cream today, and the one that I'm using is the medium olive shade, and I'm also mixing it a little bit with the light shade, so I'm sort of a little bit in between colours at the moment. So I'm using two BB cream colors, and I'm mixing them. So I've got more of a yellow base skin, so I'm mixing the olive that we've got and the light BB, and I'm just using the kabuki brush. You can use your fingers if you want to. If you've got a drier skin, I think you'll find that the BB cream does set quite quickly, so you might find that using the kabuki brush just gives more of an even coverage. Good morning, Candace and Sandra, how are you? So you can see already that the BB cream, even though it's a little bit more lightweight than the other products, it does have 15 plus in it as well. So it's basically a product that if you're feeling a little bit lazy and you want something that's an all-in-one product, the BB cream is that. It's got the 15 plus, it helps moisturize and prime the skin, and it also has color. So it's a little bit less coverage than the liquid foundation, but I wouldn't say it's too much less. So as I said, I'm just mixing two colors, just remembering that I always recommend having two colors of your foundation. Even if you've got, say, a BB cream that's a little bit darker and your liquid foundation's a bit lighter, you can mix them together. So I just think sometimes, especially at this time of the year, you're a little bit in between colors. So don't just try and put a dark one on and don't make do with your light one. Try and get an extra color, because I promise you, as long as the tone is right, got the light on here. The lighting's not the best, guys, so I do apologize. Let me just see if I can. No, that's not. That's as bad as good, I think, as we're going to get that. Have the two colors. So as long as your foundation tone is right, by that I mean the yellow or a pink base. If you've got a lighter shade and a darker shade, I promise you it's going to help you look more natural throughout the year. So your lighter shade should be bang on in the winter months, your darker shade bang on when you've got a little bit of colour, and then when you're somewhere in between, just mix the two together, so you know that you're not really then looking aged. If you're wearing foundation that's too light, it's very aging, okay? And obviously if you're wearing a darker foundation and it's really too dark, then you really need to bring it down to your neck and your décolletage, and where do you end it? So it's a bit of a fine line. I'm a big fan of putting foundation on my neck and even a little bit on my décolletage. I really put that down to not having any sun damage at 40, because I've always put a bit of foundation on there, and especially the loose minerals, because they've got the SPF of 20 plus and they're not as likely to rub off onto your clothes. Hey Rosalba. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a funny time of the morning. People have got morning drop off for the kids and work, so hopefully I'm catching some of you, because I did want to introduce one of our new products. So stay tuned for that towards the end. Okay, so now using one of our soon to be launched new brushes, I'm just going to quickly brush my brows. The reason I do that is it's easier to put the brow dust on, and it'll get through your brow hairs a lot easier. Now the brow color that I'm using is not Pink Pearl. I've just grabbed the wrong one. The brow dust that I'm using is the Peggy, which is the medium color. God, that would have been hilarious. I would have had sparkly eyebrows, people. Okay, so I'm using the angle brush, the short end first. Okay, now I'm not giving you a tutorial on how to do your brows, rather than just you can watch me do it. If you do want more detailed information on how to shape and sculpt your brows properly, if you head to the tutorial page on our website, there is a tutorial on how to measure up your brow, correct it, and obviously how to color match your brows as well. Obviously that's a personal preference for people, their colors, but at least that gives you some sort of guidance. Okay, so bear with me while we get this one on. The brow dust is, just while I'm putting this on, is water resistant, it's sweat resistant, which is great. You're not going to end up with one eyebrow towards the end of the day or half an eyebrow. Okay, you can go swimming. Obviously, if you're going to rub your eyes profusely, really hard, it will wear it off. But, you know, you can comfortably and confidently go swimming, especially in the warmer months. I prefer brow dust because I think it looks less waxy. And if you put too much on, it's easy to soften it. So this one's a little bit heavy for my liking. So I just grab one of the blush brushes that I have spare. I always have one that's semi-clean, just to dust away any that's fallen on my eyes. And I like to just dust over the top of them, just to push the brow dust in. Then I grab my comb again and I comb the brow dust through. So I just think it gives much more of a natural finish if you finish off that way. Okay, so now I've got really nice defined eyebrows that are gonna stay on. Okay, now what I do after I've done my brows, because you get a little bit of the fallout, is I pop my concealer on. And the one that you all know, or you may not know, but the one that I love is the Peachy Sleep Concealer. Good morning, Laura. And I just put a little bit on my two ring fingers. I start in the middle of my eyes and I just pat it on like an eye cream. Now, the Peachy Sleep Concealer is exactly that. It is peachy. The peachy color in it helps diffuse the look of blue and black, which we all have in the corner here. A lot of us have the dark circles, so that peachy color helps diffuse that look, okay, and obviously makes us look less tired and like we've had a peachy sleep. Who are we kidding? We know we haven't, but at least this little product makes it look like you have. So how awesome is that? I have no bags now. It's a little bit lighter than my foundation color, and that's completely fine, because once you put your blush or your bronzer on here, that brings the two colors together, so you're not looking so fair around your eyes. Now, I do have a little bit of red, as I'm dropping things, a little bit of red psoriasis here, so I'm going to cover that as well. Dropping things in the sink and a little bit there. So it does help cover normal blemishes. But if you're someone who's got really tanned skin, then I wouldn't recommend using this one on your face. It's just that I'm still quite fair, so just to save time, I can use the Peachy Sleep on my face as a normal concealer. Yes, it's more for under the eyes, but again, if you've got fair skin like mine at the moment, then you could use this as a normal concealer. So if you've got a darker skin type, then you might find that the medium tan or the medium olive is a better match for you, okay? So I'm just covering up a little bit of psoriasis. You probably can't pick this up on the camera, but I've got a little bit of psoriasis around my hairline at the moment, which I'm not happy about, but anyway. Okay, now I also think a little tip, put concealer, if you've got nostrils that are a little bit exposed like mine are, then I grab a cotton tip and I just put a bit of concealer inside my nostril area, okay? Because there's nothing more unattractive than someone's red nostrils, okay? Especially if you've got hay fever and you're rubbing your nose all the time. So just a little tip, you can't see it yourself because you're looking front on, but red nostrils is really, and veiny nostrils, it's not really an attractive look. So if you can, just grab a cotton tip or a finger and just massage a bit of the concealer into that area. Now I'm going to grab some bronzer. Now, for those of you that use the Skin Radiance Illuminizer, you can mix that with the BB cream as well, so feel free to do that. I'm just going to go straight to using a bronzer today, and the tiniest little bit, and I always use the lid to get it nice and even on the brush. If it's even on the brush, it's going to be more likely to be blendable or easily more blended on the face. And I'm using the autumn color today, so I just start my cheek products from the edge of my eyebrow and halfway through my nose. So I use that as a starting spot, and that's a good starting spot for everybody, okay? And what that means is if you start there, you can blend up and blend down and making it look natural. If you start down here, then where are you going to blend to? So you always place the depth or the concentration of your product where it should be, so then it gives you the ability to blend down a bit and blend up, and it looks natural. If I was to place this here, all that concentration is right down there, and then I've got nowhere to blend it. It just starts looking really makeup-y and too structured. Now, bronzer and blush it can be a little bit difficult for some people. One, to get the color right, and two, to, even though I'm giving you these tips, still blend it right. So if you stuff it up, all you need to do is grab your kabuki brush. Now I'll show you in a second. I'm going to put a bit too much on so you can see what I mean. All right, so I'm just blending up into my head. Now with bronzers, it's good because you can just blend straight up into your hairline. And in fact, I'm going to fix all this up with a kabuki brush in a second and show you how easy it is so that you can just do this at home without stressing out about it. Now, I like to put bronzer along my hairline. It gives the illusion that I'm a little bit more tanned than I am. Okay, so I just pop it along my hairline. Oh, thanks, Laura. I know my gold pants, hey? I had a longer version of Kylie Minogue's. No, they were full pants, but gold, I know. Okay, so I like to put a bit along my jawline. I haven't re-dipped it. I've just got the rest of what's on my brush. I go over my ears a little bit. So if you've bronzed your hairline to create the illusion that you look darker, just pop some on in your ears. If you're wearing your hair back, put it behind your ears, because that's a telltale sign you've bronzed. And then also down your neck. Now notice I haven't re-dipped. I'm just using what's left on the brush. Okay, also what's left on the brush, I'm now just going to go a little bit over my mouth because it's looking quite white, and also very gently over my eyes. So if you're trying to create the illusion of that sun-kissed look, keep dipping your bronzer, getting it into the area that you want it to look bronzed, and then if you need to give the rest of your face a lift, the remaining bronzer that's on there, then you can just go over those areas. Now, this is where I like to show you that no matter who you are or how good you are at doing your makeup, if you do stuff it up, you can always fix it, okay? So the kabuki brush, as I'm just increasing this a bit, the kabuki brush always has a leftover amount of your foundation on it, okay? And so what you need to do is just grab that kabuki brush. Oh, the lighting in here is so terrible at the moment. So sorry, people, but it's just not the best. I'm trying to find you the best lighting. So grab your kabuki brush. There's always a bit of foundation on there, as I said, and you just sweep backwards, okay? And then that will get rid of any blending. If you've gone too far down your cheeks, maybe you've contoured too much, but see how that's just seamlessly blended that. Okay, now if you, I'm just going to, a little gentle bit over my eye. If you want to have a spare kabuki brush, maybe use it once so it's got a bit of foundation on it, or even just dust a bit of your loose mineral foundation on it. But you can have a spare kabuki brush around so you can use that to blend and fix up your bronzers and your blush and things like that. Otherwise, you can just continue to use the one that you've got, and it might just mean that you need to wash it a little bit more frequently. All right, so I'm just going to apply a bit more here. It's really difficult getting your makeup right in these camera phones. And that's why I don't always love doing these morning lives, because I end up probably looking all right in the camera, but then in the real light I haven't blended it properly. All right, so just again, I'm going to use my kabuki brush. Okay, so you can see that's nice and even now. And it's given the illusion that I'm a little bit darker than I am. Okay, so that's that. It's cold here in Melbourne, but I'm actually really hot. So I think it must be the heat from yesterday stuck in this room. So I'm just going to open this window a bit more. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just keep my eyes really simple. I'm going to use black eyeliner today, which I don't normally do. But because I've got the white shirt, black pants, I'm just going to go for a really nice classic look. You could do this with a brown or any eyeliner, but I'm just putting a little bit on the outer third of my lashes. Now, I'm not doing this so much for the eye line. I'm doing this for height. So I'm trying to give the illusion that this eye or this edge of my eye is bigger and higher. Okay, and it also gives the illusion of more lashes. So it's a really no fuss way of just getting that, see, just that very subtle extra volume on this side of my eye to that one. And once I've got mascara on, this one will look like my lashes are a little bit fuller. Okay, and it's one that's just easy. You just blend it into your lash line, underneath your lash line, so in the wet part of your rim of your eye. Okay, so just pop it in there as well. And the other side, in the rim. And you just keep looking back towards your two eyes just to make sure they're even. Now, if you wanted to, you could do a little flick, and you just follow the bottom part of your eye. So follow that and just flick it up a bit. Don't go too like much. Like, see how that just tiny little flick I've just got, it's extended my eye on that side so subtly. So again, I'm just going to follow this part of my, or the trajectory of this part of my eye, and I'm just really poking, well, not poking myself, but I've got the eyeliner in the corner of my eye, and I'm just very, very gently following the trajectory or the angle of my lower lid, and I'm just flicking it up. Okay, so just that little bit. You don't need to pull your eye and do all these long wings. Okay, so just a little bit on the ends like that. That one's probably a bit too high. There we go. Okay, and then if you wanted to, you could extend it a little bit, but just if you're wanting to master or just have a little bit of an extension of your eye, that's all you need to do, okay? Hey, Marie. Yes, you can look back at the live later, so it will go onto the website once I'm finished. All right, so that's just a real quick eyeliner for everybody. The product that I would like to show now is our new lash curlers, okay? Everybody that watches my lives knows that I have an affinity to, just getting myself a water here, using lash curlers every day. And the reason for that is it makes your eyes look more open. It obviously lengthens your lashes as well. And it's a really time-saving, cost-saving way of having lash extensions, all right? So all you need to do with these, and I'm going to have to look in this back mirror, is you just place them as close to your lash line as you can. Okay, and once you've got your lashes in there, you can see, you just gently lift it up and just pump down on it a couple of times, and you'll see how they've curled. All right, and yeah, you do have to do it every day, but beats laying there for 1 or 2 hours getting your lashes extended and all the money. Like, look at that. Could almost not wear mascara. And I've got short, stumpy lashes. Now, these have got a really nice handle on them. I've been using, these are my tester ones before we launched them. So they are black. I've probably made them a little bit manky with the makeup. They've got, obviously, a really nice sponge here so you don't damage your lashes. But the mechanism in there is a really nice mechanism for pumping this onto your lashes and working it. So I'm just going to grab these lashes, again, gently lifting up. Wow, I have lashes. So this is why I use lash curlers every day, because if I just put mascara on, you'd barely probably see my lashes. All right, so lash primer. Okay, this is the new packaging that we will be launching very shortly, all right? And the reason for that is it's a squishy tube, which means you can warm up the product when you get right to the end and there's hardly any left. A hard tube, obviously it's a little bit harder to do that, so you're more likely to get full use of your product. But what I'm loving about our new primer and mascara tubes when they're launched is the brush. Okay, it might be hard to see, but you can see the little spiky, almost dinosaur-like spine on the top there versus this brush here. Okay, so this brush here gets all of the volume and the thickness of the product on the lashes, and then this combs it and gets it right to the end of the lashes, or helps you if you've put too much on and you want to thin it out. All right, so the lash primer, again, is something that, yes, it's an extra product, but I tell you, it is the major difference between just natural looking, well, I mean, your lashes still look natural with ADORN products, but it just gives that extra length and that subtle extra bit of thickness to the lashes. Okay, imagine if I went out like that. I have done this before where I've forgotten, gone out with just lash primer on, and I had grey lashes all day. And I couldn't even pick it up on why I looked weird. But anyway, all right, exactly, Belinda, that's right. And yeah, exactly. So you can get them curled as well, or permed, or whatever it's called. But you know, it's just a least chemical way of doing it. All right, so I'm going to show you the waterproof mascara. I apologize. Yes, this has been out of stock forever, but it's because we've been waiting on this packaging. And the waterproof mascara is also in the new packaging, and it also has the new brush. Okay, and the new brush makes a massive difference. I'm hoping you're not all able to see up my nose. That wouldn't be a awesome morning thing to be watching, would it? All right, so I'm just putting one coat, more focusing on the roots of my lashes at this point. I hate doing my eyelashes in lives and tutorials. I'm just so paranoid I'm going to poke myself in the eye. It's not funny. Oh, okay, now I'm going to go back and do another coat, but before I do that, because the brush, which was loaded with mascara, doesn't have as much on it because I've just done a coat on the top, I'm now going to use it just to do a subtle amount on the bottom outer lashes, okay? You don't want to put a freshly dipped wand onto your bottom lashes, or they're just going to look goopy. All right, so I'm going to dip this again. And I actually have, there's a tutorial on how to get your mascara on looking really long, and it's to focus on your first coat. You do the whole way around, and your second coat you're just focusing on the outer lashes. And the reason for that is you don't want these starfish looking eyes with thick mascara in here. You want all the mascara on the outer lashes, because that's the secret to your eyes looking bigger, and also creates the illusion that your lashes are longer because you're keeping these ones looking a little bit shorter, which they naturally are anyway. All right, so that's the second coat there, and then I'll show you my final trick with the third. Well, it's not even really a coat, but my third coat. I, of course, got a bit on my eyelid. See, even the pro, if you could call me that, after over 20 years of doing this, I even make mistakes. So there you go. I've got a bit of mascara on my eyelid. I'll fix that up in a second. All right, so now I'm going to just dip. I'm just dipping the top of my brush to get the mascara on the ends. And now I'm facing the brush into my eye, and I'm just tickling these outer lashes. Just these outer ones on the ends, because if you put too much on the roots of your lashes, it weighs your lashes down, and they'll fall down during the, well, not fall down, but they can't stand up because there's too much weight on the roots of them. So I'm now focusing on just these outer lashes, extending them and building on them. Now, yes, it's taking me a bit of time because I'm chatting with you, but this doesn't really take that much time, okay? So now look at these lashes. Now, when I started the video, my lashes were just short, little stumpy, typical getting older lashes that barely existed. But honestly, by using this and the lash primer together is my secret weapon to having long lashes, because I promise you, if I didn't do it, they would just be short little lashes. And that last tip I showed you with just dipping the tip of your mascara wand and tickling these outer lashes just gives you that look, that nice extra cat eye, okay? Just quickly checking if there's any. Thanks for that, Marie. I know that lash primer is just absolutely awesome. Karen, thank you. I'm glad you're finding them helpful. And Michelle and Kerry. So, to finish off, what I'm going to do now, for those of you that have got your bronzer on and you're sort of feeling a bit one-dimensional, which I'm not, I'm quite happy with just bronzer today, you can, for those of you that know, I love wearing 2 colours on my cheeks, so you could put a bit of blush on your cheeks now if you felt like you needed to have a bit of colour, a bit of pinkness, so you could definitely do that, but for me, I'm quite happy with what I've got on at the moment. I am going to finish it though with, if I can find it, no, finish it off with some of the loose mineral foundation, oh my god, it's Monday morning, the Illuminizer. So I'm just going to pop a little bit around my temple, like teeny amount, and over the top of the bronzer. Now the reason for this is it makes your skin look healthy, dewy, and the rest of it on my forehead. It also makes your cheekbones look bigger. So anything shiny will look bigger. It'll also look a little bit healthier. If you've got a very wrinkly forehead though, don't put it on your forehead because things look bigger when they're shiny and you don't want to accentuate that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pop on a little bit of the Marilyn lipstick. And hopefully this works. Because what I like to do, when I want a bit of colour but I don't want too much, I just put it in the middle of my lips, like this. And I just press it in a little bit, make it stain my lips a bit. Okay, and then I just grab one of the nude coloured lip glosses. So in this case, I'm going to use Diana. Okay, and I just use that to spread it, and you could do this with any of our lipsticks. So if you want colour but you don't want lipstick colour, and you want a colour that's going to stay on a bit longer than a lip gloss would, you could just put a little bit of your lipstick in the middle of your mouth, really press it in, and then just pop your lip gloss over the top. So it just gives you a bit of colour without it being so much in your face, and too bold. And I just don't feel like, as much as I want a red lip, I just don't want anything too bold today. Okay, I'm looking down. I think I've covered everything. All I need to do now is finish this big mop of hair that I've got going on. Give it a big brush. I don't know what we're going to do with this today. Holy crap. So much hair. But look, hopefully by tuning in, you've learned a couple of things today. You can keep it really simple. Just to recap, all I did was use the primer because my skin's super dry at the moment from being away and in a pool. So I used the primer as well as the BB cream. The BB cream that I used was the light and the new olive shade mixed together because I'm a little bit in between shades. It's got 15 plus in it, so it covers you there if that's what you're concerned about. I used the bronzer in Monaco. Okay, I used it as a contour as well as a cheek colour, and if you stuff it up like I did, and I had it too heavy, grab your kabuki brush, go over it, and it will tone it all down. Now you can put a blush on, as I said, over the top of your bronzer, but I'm just keeping it really simple today. Then I used the black wind-up eyeliner, and I just put it in the wet part of my eyeline and on top, just on this outer third, so just sort of, I guess, up to the iris or pupil area. And then I've just given it a little tiny wing on the outer by following this lower lash line up. Okay, of course I use the Peachy Sleep Concealer. I also use the Brow Dust in Peggy Medium, okay, for its water resistant properties. I think it looks most natural. Again, if you stuff up your eyebrows because you're in a hurry or whatever, you put too much on, just grab one of your brushes and gently sweep over it. It'll push it onto the skin more and make it look more natural, and also finish off by brushing them because it will push the product in further and separate it, making it look more like lashes. And then I use the lash primer, our new curling wand first, use these first, lash primer, mascara in the waterproof, and then I've used a little bit of the Marilyn with the Diana lip gloss over the top. So it's given me actually a nice, it looks a bit coral in this camera, but to be honest, it's actually like a blue, not a blueberry. It's actually a bit purple looking in this mirror. So it's actually not the way it looks there. So, so if you're just wanting a really soft sort of blue based, I suppose, lip gloss, then I would go with that option. Hey Vicky, good. I'm glad you've picked up some tips today. So I'll always try and jump on and you can just follow what I'm doing. It might just give you some, I don't know, some ideas, just make you feel like you're doing the right thing. Shoot through questions. This will go onto our Facebook page so you can watch this back. But it's time for me now to try and get this hair looking, I don't know, somehow professional, and head to the office and see the girls. I've had a week off, so I'm feeling fresh, looking forward to getting in there and working on all these new products that we're trying to release to you guys as soon as possible. So happy Monday, have a fabulous day. Remember, be kind and only expect kindness in return because you're worth it, and I will chat to you soon. Okay, bye.